Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jackson Loves the Piano here. Welcome back to another video, another long form video. And in this video, this has been a long time coming video that I've been wanting to make, but I'm very excited to be doing it. So, what this video is going to be is we're going to be going over my entire Ableton session. So, as you guys know, I have talked about how I have recently just created a Ableton session for myself. After being on Sunday Keys for a little bit, I decided to move over to Ableton. And for the last month that I've been using it, I can confidently say it has been the best switch I've ever made as a keys player. And I genuinely feel like so much more in control of how my sounds are in terms of sound design and what I use on a daily basis. And I think this setup, what I have for Ableton, is the perfect setup that I have for myself. And I think I'm in a perfect spot with it. Obviously, there's a lot more tweaking that I can do over the coming months and years as I continue to improve it. But where it's at right now, I think is perfect. And I'm gonna walk you guys through what is on my session, what I use on a daily basis when I go through it, and just my overall thoughts of the session and what I would want to improve over the next few years. But I'm gonna make it as short as I can, but also go into detail about everything so that you guys can get a full grasp of everything. So obviously you see the layout as it is right now. So I've got my pianos over here on the left, my synth leads over here on this side in the green. My blues are all my pads, so it's a mix of different bright pads, warm pads, dark pads, all that type of stuff. The purple over here is all of my ARPs and stuff, so the sequencers. And then on the far right over here are my textures, which are the tonic pads that play in the background. So we're going to go ahead and start over here on my piano rack, and we're going to go from top to bottom. So starting off, we have the Bright, which is the C7 piano from Keyscape. So here it is. Here's what that sounds like. Let me turn that on. So I really like this piano. It's one of my favorite grands just in general, and Keyscape did an amazing job with it. So I have a little bit of EQ and a little bit of compression on that, kind of just to make it sit really well. I really like the bright voicing of the C7. I think it really just stands out well compared to the default C7 Grand that you can use. I think the bright one just stands out really nicely, and it's one that I'm a big fan of. So yeah, this is the C7, really solid grand piano. I don't have much else to say about it. All right, next up we have the Soft, which is from Labs. It's actually a free piano that you guys can pick up. So in the description of the video, I'll leave a link for you to download it if you want to go check it out. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite pianos. And it's, in terms of a soft piano, it's just super solid. So here's the sound of that. So yeah, as I mentioned, this is a very solid soft piano. Just like the textures in the background that it has. You can kind of hear it's like the hammers in the background, the felt of the piano. It just stands out so well. This is one of my favorite soft pianos to use in those low moments. And it just sits really well in a soft mix and just works super well in very intimate moments. So I'm a big fan of it. I love the soft piano from Labs. Super good, really nice. Next up here, we have the Smash piano, which is another version of the C7, just a little bit more bright. So this one has a little bit more character to it, and it's a little bit more defined in the piano, but I don't really use it that much, to be honest. It's kind of there for like if I want to do those little melody lines. But in those moments, I typically just roll with the brighter version of the C7 over this one, but it's there if I need it. The felt is up next, and this is the double felt grand from Keyscape, which is another really good, really solid piano right here. So I love this one a lot because you can really, you can clearly hear the felts as they're going, and I think that just really adds to the character of this felt piano. I think it sounds really nice and it sounds really solid for a felt piano. And it like the character of it is what makes it stand out so much and what makes me love it so much. So that's the felt right there. Then we're gonna move on to the Royal Grand, which is a Nord. It's a Nord VST I'm running. It's a Nord Stage Ultimate. So that's what it sounds like. Obviously, the Royal Grand, very classic sounding piano. So yeah, the Royal Grand is one of my favorite pianos just in general. Um, I love the character of it. I think like in the lows, like in the lows it sounds great. In the mids, it's just got great character and great dynamics. And then when you go up high, it just sounds great up high. So like in all the registers of the piano, it sounds amazing. So that's the Nord Grand, right? Or that's the Royal Grand right there. Again, one of my favorite pianos. Just sounds great, and when you add a little bit of EQ to it, it's so good. So there's that. Then we got the upright piano, which is another Keyscape one. It is the wing upright, which is probably one of my all-time favorite upright sounds. So here's how that sounds. So that's one I use a lot for like Maverick City stuff, or if I want to add like a little bit more of that brighter type of tone with an upright, then that's when I'll typically lean on. This is a one I typically use a lot. Again, because I just love the character of the piano and it just sounds really nice. And upright pianos are just so good when they're like EQ'd well and just like compressed in a certain way. And like this is a great example of that. So big fan of the wing upright. It sounds great. And it works really well as an upright piano. Like it's one of the most solid upright pianos I've used. Then next up right here, you have the Cinematic, which is another version of the C7, but this one is a little bit more, it's got a little bit more EQ with it, and it's a bit more compressed. This is actually the Nick Staley C7, so a version of Nick Staley's C7 that he made is what this is. So it's a little bit more cleaner in the sound. It's a bit more compressed, a bit more dynamic in the sound of it. So it's a little bit more cleaner with the output of it. And again, it's there if I need it. A lot of these ones are kind of like, you know, like for certain moments if I need it, but it's like rarely do I ever use it. The CP70 is a Omnisphere patch. So let's pull up Omnisphere here. So this is what this sounds like. So again, this is one that I don't use too much. I like it a lot when the filter's down. When the filter's down like that, it makes it sound a little bit better. When the filter's all the way up, it just doesn't sound amazing, but again, it's there. This little whirly is also from Omnisphere. It sounds really funny. Here it is. And that's mainly for like if I want to do like a lead line or something in a song. So like for example, like The Joy or something. If I want to add like, you know, a little bit of fun stuff to that, then there's that as well. And then this last one down here is the White Grand, which is also another Nord plugin that I run. And this is Ultimate Pianos 2 is the plugin for this. This is a really solid plugin, by the way. Just came out, really nice. It's got pretty much all the Nord sounds on here, and compared to the first one. So it's a lot more opportunity to like be a little bit more versatile with it. But yeah, the White Grand, I haven't gotten much experience with the White Grand, so I'm kind of still experimenting with it. But from what I've been using so far, I love the White Grand. It's a great sounding piano. I kind of switch off with that and the Royal Grand in terms of what I use. But the White Grand is really nice for like, you know, like softer songs. You can kind of get away with it a little bit better. And I think the White Grand is a lot better in terms of a stage setting when you're hearing it through speakers. And the Royal Grand is really nice when you're listening through headphones. Since the White Grand feels kind of a little bit more like better to hear in like a larger setting, like through those speakers when you can like hear like all the piano. But like the Royal Grand feels like nice because it feels like you're sitting at the piano playing it and you can hear like everything. So yeah, the White Grand's solid. I love it. Again, just starting to get used to it. So that's what I have there. And then in terms of my instrument rack, so down here I have a MIDI effect where I can add an octave filter. So where I can pretty much do octaves, but I'm only playing single notes. So that's with it on. This is with it off. And then this is with it on. So that's nice if I want to make it to where I don't like have to tire out my hand all the time playing octaves. I can just turn that on and make it a little bit easier for me. So here's the rack down here. In terms of stuff, I have compressor on, so I have 263:1 ratio for the tack, 0.35 milliseconds for the release, and 129 milliseconds for the auto. And then my frequency is down here as well. And then some EQ on that, about 825 hertz, and about -4 on the gain. And then I have an auto filter on, so I have a filter so I can adjust it to where if I want to make it a little bit softer, I can. And then, you know, if I want to bring it up, I can do that. So that filter is really nice in like certain moments if I want to, you know, bring a piano down in the moment, and like, you know, if it's a little bit too bright, I can turn that filter down to soften it up a little bit. Okay, and then in terms of last things for my pianos, I have reverb on here. So here's the piano with the reverb off. So obviously no reverb there, and then all the way up. So this is stock Ableton reverb that I run. So it's not like that. What is it? The Valhalla. I don't use Valhalla reverb. I want to definitely invest in that in the future. But stock Ableton reverb sounds great. I have delay on here right as well, and then C pad reverb. I think that's chorus stuff. I have that there as well. Don't really use it, but reverb and delay is mainly the only stuff I use. All right. Now moving over here to the synth leads. Again, I'm going to keep this pretty short. I'm only going to really go through the ones that I like. All of these are Omnisphere. This Glockenspiel is one that I really like, so let's go to that. Let me turn this off. So, I like the Glockenspiel for like Christmas stuff. So like if there's a Christmas song that I'm playing, so like for example, the song Gloria, or Angels We Have Heard on High. So it's like what is it? Here you go. Something like that, where you can just add in that Glockenspiel. It just makes the song, like, you know, stand out. This Saw lead is also one I like. It's like your typical synth sound, but it sounds great. CP70 synth is another one I like. It's a it sounds like a piano, but it's also like it's a mix of a piano synth, and it's one I really like. So those are ones that I'm a big fan of. A lot of these other ones are like, you know, if I need it, but Glockenspiel, Solid, and CP70 synth are the ones I typically go with. All right, now pads. I utilize pads a lot. My favorite is currently the String Machine. That is my favorite pad currently that I use. Let me turn it on. So the one thing I love about the String Machine is this. So I have a filter on the pads as well. So the fact that I can do something like this. So I currently have the filter on here, so I'll show you. So the filter is currently at 301, right? So the fact that I can like bring this down and it's now a warm pad, like it's a string pad but you can make it warm, is game changing and is something I couldn't do before. So it's like, you know, I could keep it low like this to like have a little pad in the background, and then like if the song builds, then I can bring it up and then it's just a straight string pad there. So like it makes it game changing for that type of thing. But I do have a dark, like a really nice dark warm pad on here. The Juno pad. That's on there if I want it, and that's a straight warm pad that I don't have to worry about adjusting the filter. But most of the time, I do stick with the String Machine. But a lot of these are really cool. I mean, Hammond organ. That's there if I need it. So yeah, a lot of these, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they're all great. ARPs, not something I use too much, but it's there if I need it. So, for example, It's there if I want it. It kind of is a little bit like finicky in the way that it works. Like you kind of have to be a little bit off tempo in order for it to be like on beat with the song. So that's something I'm trying to work on, but a lot of them are pretty cool. So you got that. Champion is pretty cool. And then step sequencer. And then I have it to where it doubles, so a little bit overkill with using double, so I kind of just stick with these top three. All right, and then probably one of my favorite things about my Ableton Session is my textures. So pretty much what it is a tonic pad that plays in the background. So for example, I'll put it in the key of E. Oh, let me turn that off. So it's literally just it's a tonic pad that plays in the background in the key that I choose. And I love this tonic pad in particular because it like has these moments where it like plays a note in the scale. So like you heard that. So it kind of like has little ambient like notes that it plays. So it plays like a mix of like the one and the sus, and then it goes back between. So that's one thing I really love about this pad is it kind of just, it sits really well. It's very ambient, and the way it adds in those little like notes in the in it to make it sound like really really nice in the mix is something I love about this pad. So it's in all 12 keys, so it's all there. I don't play in minor keys much. I don't have it for a minor key, but you know, if a song was in a minor key, that's for a different day. But all 12 major keys are on here, so it all works well. But yeah, pretty much that's about it for my entire Ableton session. So I hope you guys did enjoy watching me go through it all. If you guys have any questions about my session, please be sure to leave them down in the comments, and I would love to answer your guys' questions. Or if you guys have questions on my Instagram, be sure to message me there to ask about any questions you guys may have. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.